This is Saturday, the day of vigil. Traditionally, in churches that recognize this day, people will sign up for an hour between 3 o'clock on Friday and sunrise on Easter Sunday, and families or individuals will pray for the church or the community or their own needs, and there'd be a sign-up sheet, as I said, throughout that period in time. Other places there would be gatherings where they read different scripture and they have more of a formal service. I've done in the past. I've had teenage wakeovers, so we spend all night and come together about every hour and do a little talking, do a little reading, and then they go back and play. It's always been a big hit. But the whole concept of vigil is kind of a hard one to access. And when I read through the scripture that I see between Good Friday and Easter Sunday, it's always interesting how short it is, but how it's always about the women. I get asked frequently, is there really that many women involved in the Bible? And the answer is absolutely, absolutely. There's women there. It's quite interesting to me that the story of Annunciation, Mary's pregnancy, especially in the Gospel of Luke, is all about women, and how resurrection, Easter service, is all about women gathering. This time I was reading the scripture and something really struck me that I hadn't noticed before. The scripture talks about Joseph of Arimathea going to Pilate and asking for Jesus' body, which Pilate gives him because he doesn't want to deal with it. And Joseph puts it in the tomb. And the women are watching the tomb. I never realized that was in there before in Matthew. And I thought, how fascinating, because I'm used to the story where Mary Magdalene kind of goes home and waits, but not so much where she's actually waiting outside, watching Jesus be put in the tomb, just holding her vigil at the tomb. The role of vigil was the role of women in that time in society, and often throughout every time of society. There's a long history of women being the watchers. Women are the caretakers, women being the ones that are there. Not that men aren't, they are there as well, but there's a particular ministry that women do in watching and waiting. Midwives do watching and waiting. Those who are doing palliative care spend a lot of time watching and waiting. And here we have the women outside the tomb, watching and waiting. There's no great particular theological message on this Saturday, a Holy Saturday. Vigil is not necessarily a time when you get great awareness or suddenly aha moments. It is a time to sit and reflect and to think about what happened. Maybe what you would do if you were there. On this Saturday, we sit with the women so long ago. You can have your own vigil. Pick times throughout the day to pray, check in with people, maybe register online. I'm not sure there is such a thing, but post-COVID, there's a whole lot of interesting things out there. But make it a discipline. Watch and wait until sunrise Sunday morning. Be in vigil, in meditation. It doesn't have to be constant. It can be moving. It can be a sleeping vigil. It can be a busy work vigil. But just the whole idea is to take time to reflect and kind of just slow down. This is the day between absolute horror of Good Friday and absolute joy of Easter Sunday. And we are caught in the middle of that. Now, we're not the first century that lived it, so we can talk about Easter Sunday, that it's not here yet. In the same way we can talk about Good Friday as we've gone through it and now we wait. It's important that our faith also has that downtime, just to sit and watch, like the women did with the tomb so very long ago. It's in these quiet moments where we might have God speaking to us, or we might have some kind of new thought that we want to pursue, or new idea that we want to do. But our faith needs the quiet and the prayerful and the time away, and just to sit and not have any other requirements but to reflect on what's important.